Hi, welcome to my video channel. My name is Jessica and I'm a librarian with plants. I haven't always been a plant parent, but now I figured with a new apartment and lots of sunlight, I can try to be one. So join me as I do what librarians do best: research, experiment, and learn what I can to be the best plant parent I can be. Here are the two pothos that I am taking care of right now. This is the golden pothos. I call her Golden Girl. And this is the neon pothos. I call her Neon Queen. These two are about the easiest pothos that you can take care of and a beginner's choice for all plant parents. What's really nice is as they start to grow, they grow vines. So this can be a really good hanging plant, or if you trim it up and prune it, it can stay a really nice little bushy plant like this. Another great thing about pothos is that watering doesn't need to be a big issue. You can water it completely, soak up the soil with water, and then let it dry out before you have to water it again. A major indicator of your pothos needing water though is from the leaves. The leaves are actually going to tell you a lot on whether you need to be watering it a little bit more. So leaves, if you notice, if I do this, it kind of retains staying put. It feels a bit firm. And then if I do this, if I kind of like hold it a bit, I actually feel moisture inside. So this means my pothos, I've just recently watered it and it's soaking it all up. If I do this and it stays droop, or if I feel it and it feels kind of thin, that is your leaves and your pothos telling you that it needs some water. But if you don't water it and it's dry for some time, your pothos is not going to die immediately. It's actually going to be drought resistant. So it's okay if you let it go a little bit flat and droopy. Just as soon as you see that, put some water fully through it so that it can perk back up. Pothos also like humidity. I'm an overwaterer. I have a tendency to overwater my plants. So one of my solutions is to have a spray bottle with water that I can go around daily and spray the leaves of my plants. So pothos really like a good misting of water, and they also like to be wiped of the dust that collect on top of the leaves. When you wipe the leaves on top and on bottom with a cloth, getting rid of the dust, it makes sun a lot easier to get to the leaf. So that will make it a lot healthier and happier. It's very easy, just a simple wipe top and bottom is enough to be able to keep this shiny and clean and happy. I keep my pothos near a south-facing window, and I've also added a film in order to filter the light, because a south-facing window has a lot of afternoon sun that can be really hot, and you do not want to burn your leaves from all of that light. So if you have a south-facing window, putting a sheer curtain or putting your plants farther away from the window would be really helpful. Pothos still like a lot of bright indirect light, though they can tolerate low light. It's not going to grow as fast and it's not going to grow as big of leaves, but it will still survive. The golden pothos does like more light in order to keep the golden specks. So if you have a golden pothos and you like your little golden specks, make sure that it gets some sort of sunlight in order to do that. Your neon pothos will keep its neon color, so just making sure that it grabs a bit more sun will help retain its bright colors. Here is an example of how I trimmed the golden pothos in order to make a new plant. From the excess vine, you can cut the parts of the vine with a leaf to be able to grow roots. So this right here, as you can see, this vine had a couple of leaves with a node. So this part was a node. So that means it was a small little brown bump, and now that I've put it in water, it's grown roots from it. Even has a root inside a root, which is pretty cool. So any of the nodes that are attached to a leaf can turn into a new plant. So I trimmed this up, I put this in a water container and just waited a couple of weeks for it to grow some roots. You can keep this inside water. It doesn't need to be transferred into soil. You can keep this in water and be a nice little focal point. Just make sure that you change the water weekly so that it's not stuck in stale water, and just refreshing it with that. If you are ready to put it into soil and you want to keep it in soil, make sure that the roots are at least an inch long in order to have more success being rooted in the soil. Picking soil for your pothos is very important as well. Pothos like a well-draining soil. So that means with your soil potting mix, if it has perlite, you see those little white bits, perlite, bark, and peat moss, those three ingredients allow for a bit more air and allows the soil not to be too dense. So as you put water in it, it should drain all the way to the bottom, and having a pot with a draining hole on the bottom is pretty important. Another indicator knowing if your soil is too dense is if you put water immediately and the water just hangs out on the top, then you know it's too dense. And you might want to change out the soil and put some more perlite or peat moss in it. I hope you found this video helpful. And if you have any questions or other tips on how to take care of a pothos, please leave them in the comment section. And I'll see you next time. Bye!